EssilorLuxottica is doubling down their interest in smart glasses. So one of the biggest manufacturers of sunglasses on the planet acquired a French startup called Plus Audition. Essilor is not immune to everything that is happening in the sort of smart devices space. They've been playing with this idea of making glasses extremely precise in tracking voice and using systems, AI-based systems.
The French startup is not about vision. So you would looking at the CES, you would say, hey, vision is all that matters now. It's about audio. What's interesting is that they're taking a divide and a timber approach, divide and conquer. Like, one set for audio, then Meta is about camera glasses.
All right, welcome everyone to the first episode of 2025. Welcome back, Nick. How are you?
Ciao, Jack. I am great. How about you?
Very good, very good. Just observing what is starting right now, what is moving, what is going to move. So me and Nicola, we've been discussing on what's going to happen for 2025. So we have a few ideas. We'll uncover them later on, but definitely something interesting, something unseen compared to last year, I would say. So probably that's definitely something cool.
Yeah.
Let's mention a few closing thoughts regarding the latest deals of 2024, just to do a little bit of a recap. So starting maybe from Fitprime, actually. So Wellhub, New York-based corporate wellness company, acquired Fitprime. According to Zest announcement, Wellhub paid $50 million, half in cash and half in share, for the company. So definitely one of the good ending notes for 2024. So Wellhub basically is a huge player in the corporate wellness space, raised about more than $500 million in funding. It's a New York-based company. And since 2019, they've been acquiring a lot of companies so they've been like growing, especially in Europe. So they've been doing a few deals in Portugal, now in Italy. So it's a very interesting hub. And definitely kind of trying to dominate the corporate wellness space, which in the past, I would say 3 years, that's something that has been moving very fast. I mean, we haven't seen, like 10 years ago, I don't think it was something. In the past 4 or 5, a lot of deals happened in that space. So that was my first take. Nick, what was your thinking on this?
No, nice take. In insight, that's right. The market for business-related welfare and wellness in general has been on a hot direction for the last few years. Probably in part for regulation, in part because it is an untapped market, and it is perceived by companies, by corporates as a way to attract and retain people. And this is something that they discovered in Europe as well. I think in the US, this is more common knowledge that you have to you're supposed to propose some more features, benefits than pure salary, but it is happening in Europe as well. So.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it was definitely tied to all the tech wave in the past 20 years when tech companies wanted to give like premium benefits to employees. And there you go, like 20, 30 years later, you have a multi-billion-dollar like market. So there you go. So interesting take. Fitprime was acquired basically as they basically were hitting about 200 corporate clients only in Italy, which, considering the kind of the forward-looking take of this product, that's pretty good. I mean, 200 companies like really believing in corporate plans. I think catering to several hundred thousand of employees actually. So it's a big deal, I would say. So very, very interesting. And I believe the management is still working together with the Wellhub. So things are moving forward. Let's see what's going to happen whether Wellhub will become one of the biggest player on the market.
Good stuff. And it was a good exit because we have so there is a bit of a lack of liquidity in the entire market. This acquisition is good news at least for the funds that invested in the company. I think they were reasonably happy from the announcements. So Zest and Vertis Ventures. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
good.
Awesome. All right. Talking about maybe the mix between corporate and startup, let's talk about EssilorLuxottica, so one of the biggest manufacturers of sunglasses on the planet, completing their second acquisition in the tech space with related to smart glasses. So basically, they acquired a French startup called Plus Audition. So super interesting take. So Essilor is not immune to everything that is happening in the sort of smart devices space. They've been playing with this idea of making glasses extremely precise in tracking voice and using systems, AI-based system to support hearing impediments. So that's pretty interesting. They've been acquired last year in 2023. They acquired a Nuance Hearing, and they already integrated some of their technology in their glasses. And now with Pulse, that's just essentially a double down on the kind of product that they want to push. So interesting take. So that's definitely looking forward to what's going to happen in that space.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? The French startup is not about vision. So you would looking at the CES, you would say, hey, I mean, vision is all that matters now. It's about audio. So we are seeing Essilor also thinking that audio would be an important part of the experience with glasses. And that's very interesting. I think it's not even the first acquisition in that space that they are making. So very interesting.
Yeah. And as you say, when everybody's betting more on augmented reality and mixed reality through the use of smart glasses, which is a huge trend, and I hope someone in Italy will definitely work on that. Especially this year in the CS, there's a lot of smart glasses, light smart glasses technology, so sub 100 grams, so something that is very wearable. Of course, limited capacities. You get a little bit of projection, but not necessarily the full, the full spectrum that a Vision Pro or a Quest 3 can give you, but still very interesting product. And Essilor is taking the path of audio, primarily. Heavily. Not, I don't know if primarily, but definitely heavily. So that's really
they're operating across the spectrum from the meta glasses.
There you go. Yeah. Actually, they're covering. It's probably multi-strategy. Yeah.
What's interesting is that they're taking a divide and a timber approach, divide and conquer. One set for audio, then Meta is about camera glasses, then they have I think they have also some smart glass in the pipeline. So by one piece at a time. So eventually we will see the final product merging all of these things together. Nice.
Interesting. And that's probably, how we're gonna dress up in 5 to 10 years with smart glasses, AI, new hearing. We will easily integrate it to usual life. So that's pretty exciting. All right, awesome. What also want to bring some attention is actually just thinking back of what has happened in Italy in 2024. I think it's worth mentioning what has been happening in basically in terms of the VC space. So VC players in Italy kind of opening their doors and starting operation in 2024. We've seen a lot of activity. 2024, despite it was not one of the most active years in terms of fundraising. So we closed, of course, the year just shy of 1 billion in funds raised. Then, of course, we can debate about how the calculation is done, but roughly we're still around that number. Despite of that, a lot of new operator, and as you mentioned in your latest newsletter, Nick, there are about 20 to 30 new players that have been identified and starting operation this year. So literally from new funds like Primo, of course, opening some new operations, to angel clubs, new angel clubs opening operation in the early stage space, Some corporate venture units also opening in the space. So there has been quite a lot of movement, and what is interesting is quite a lot of movement in quite different kinds of operators of the market across all the early stage spectrum. So not bad, I would say. I don't know what's your first take, Nick, on this, but I thought it was pretty relevant.
Well, my initial take was like, oh, really? This many? Because one here and then one there, and you lose sight of what's happening on the market. So there were quite a few announcements of new operators, or actually structured operators, or not just smaller funds or more informal funds. And to be honest, a few of them were already active the year before, and they just announced they came out of stealth, if you want. But that's true. So I mean, there are more operators than you would think. This thing is positive for the coming year. So at least we have more fresh capital interested into Italy. I'm looking forward to seeing more announcements of international funds setting up shop in Italy. Again, thanks to CDP and their international fund of funds track. I think they announced a few. I hope there are more in pipeline. And this is one of the things that makes me positive about 2025.
Awesome. And couple of considerations. So the article we're referring to is from scaleupitaly.com. And we can see a lot of sophistication actually here, I would say, which is a good news. I mean, not your classic sort of angel group sort of moving around the early stage sector. We have funds, we have like SGRs, we have CCAF, we do have, of course, new clubs. So a lot of different structure with a lot of different flavors. Corporate funds, talking about, for example, like Linfa or Play from Gruppo Mondadori. Probios, exactly. So very, very a wide variety with also some very narrow focus thesis. For example, just to mention one of the latest one, Vertis Venture 6, Digital Sud. So that's basically focused on Southern Italy company, which recently launched into. Well, it's maybe one of the first that launched this year. So that's pretty interesting. So I mean, a lot of sophistication, a lot of new sophistication, a lot of new operators, so playing in different parts of the ecosystem. I'm wondering whether, beside what you say, which I totally agree, which is like foreign funds kind of settling shop in Italy, there will be also like new sort of Series B and Series C funds somehow built from Italian investors. So here, we've seen in 2024 a trend of Italian private equity kind of going a little bit, stepping into VC. So maybe there is space this year to actually, see like kind of the overlapping part. I mean, tough to say, of course, the lines sometimes are really blurred, but maybe that's where we can expect some movement, like PE funds sort of launching like bigger, like venture funds that can cover that magical space that we always talk about, which is missing, which is like a later seed up to IPOs. Really, that's really a big gap.
Yeah, I agree with you. That would be the next step. That would be great. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe there will be some returning professional from an experience abroad, bringing back some capability to set up a Series B fund. And as you say, hopefully from coming from the private equity direction. I don't know. I have no idea. We have seen examples of private equity investors moving into venture and raising VC funds. Nextaria is one. Maybe there will be more. That will be interesting, and we really need some players covering the Series B, Series C phases. Yeah. Even though I think this is pure personal opinion that you have to be European first if you think of investing at the Series B stage. I'm not sure there is enough deal flow from just Italy to be effective in this in that phase. But still,
that's a good point. Good point. Good point.
What are we missing to do that?
Yeah,
Nothing.
absolutely. Right, Nick, that concludes this week's episode. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you next week.
Ciao, Jack. Take care. Have a great week. Ciao, everybody. See you in a week.